Have you always been curious about how animal rescues save thousands of animals every single year? Do you want to know the day-to-day of how they get animals off the street and ready to roll? Well, then this video is for you. I'm going to be sitting down with the Interim Director of Development and Marketing for the Animal Defense League of Texas. So stay tuned and figure out how they saved over 6,500 animals last year.
So I am Kathy Holsher, and I'm the Interim Director of Development and Marketing for Animal Defense League of Texas. And I've been here since August of last year. Before that, I was a volunteer. Back about 2016, I started volunteering, doing their annual gala.
So have you always been interested in kind of animals in particular, or what drew you to Animal Defense League?
Well, I mean, I love animals, but really what drew me was a friend was involved, and so she brought me on board, and so once you're on board, you're hooked.
Pesky friends. So tell me about what's the day-to-day look like for you. So it's the kind of the interim director. What's your main focus?
So my main focus is raising funds. You know, in the nonprofit world, that's what it's all about. So we do that through a variety of resources, direct ask of donors. We also do sponsorships and partnerships. We have programs that bring in some service fees and things like that. But primarily it's the ask. It's going out into the community, meeting the people, telling them
doing
what
stuff
we need.
Like this, dealing with me.
Yes. Just getting the word out there primarily.
Now, so speaking of getting the word out, can you tell me a little bit more about how long has Animal Defense League of Texas been around and kind of what's your main mission and goal?
So we were chartered in 1934.
Oh, wow.
In
Quite a long time.
1934 in San Antonio. So we're 89 years old in June. And we're about to have our birthday party. We're excited about that. And then we moved on to the property that we currently sit on here on Nacogdoches.
Mm-hmm.
We moved here in the 60s, early 60s. We've been in this spot for quite a while. And we're about to start looking at maybe replacing some of our decaying infrastructure.
More reasons to donate.
Donate, exactly.
So you guys have a couple of campuses though.
We have main campus Nacogdoches, then we have two satellite campuses. One is across from the zoo, the San Antonio Zoo, and it's called the Paul Jolly Center for Adoptions. And then we have the PetSmart Everyday Adoption Center. Yes, it's located inside of the PetSmart on Four Winds Drive, which is kind of over in the northeast sector of San Antonio.
So every time I've talked with your team, who've been awesome, they always tell me that there's 4 pillars for the Animal Defense League of Texas, and that's kind of the main focus. So can you tell me what those are? And we have our cheat sheet, by the way, and this will be kind of posted. If you guys want to see a copy of it, we'll have it online. But walk me through the 4 pillars, and how did you guys come up with that? Is that kind of always been the core structure of the organization? Or?
It's pretty much standard in rescues. It's all centered around adopting, which is our primary focus. We really want to get these animals adopted. And then donations, volunteering, and fostering. And fostering is one of those programs that if you're not really set on being able to fully commit to an animal to adopt, then you can spend some time fostering. Sometimes that's, a few weeks up to 8 weeks, and longer if there's more medical need. It's very, very rewarding because you get them already.
The thing that I love to ask whenever we interview somebody, because I think one thing we see a lot is people show up to a nonprofit and they're like, oh, here's what you should do, here's my advice, right? Which I'm sure you hear all the time.
All the time.
Dealing with donors, right? But it's,
right.
What do you need most now as an organization?
Adopt would be the number one.
Come get up here again.
Number one thing, adopt, yes. But also, we are always in need of donations. And whether that is monetary, which is what keeps us going. Also, we need things like wet food for kittens and for puppies and for the older dogs. We get a lot of our dry food donated, so we're usually always really good there. But our wet canned food, we're always low on that. We do take donations also of things like blankets or towels or kitten formula, things like that. We have a wish list on Amazon, and we also have one on our website. And the website will take you to the Amazon wish list as well.
Does it matter the condition on old towels and blankets and things like that?
I mean, we prefer that they're not full of holes.
Oh yeah, no. But I mean, if they're like, oh, can I get new towels because I want a different color?
Right, that's great. That's great. What we don't take are things like pillows because puppies rip those up and then stuff goes over. Choking hazard, and then also a lot of comforters too are made that way. So no comforters.
Tell me more about what's a day in the life at Animal Defense League of Texas. Is it primarily focused on where do you sourcing rescues from? Is it typically like you're finding dogs, or walk me through how does someone kind of get checked in from the animal point of view?
Typically it starts around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and our teams start coming on and they start going into the kennels, pulling all of the animals, the dogs out, and they pull them into the outside kennels. and clean all of their kennels from the night overnight, and then feed them, get them all ready. A lot of walking the dogs and things like that starts to happen. Throughout the day, we've got our adoption team up front, so people are coming in and say, hey, I want to see a dog or a cat or blah, blah, blah. So that's ongoing. And then in the background, we have our Ryan. We have our Ryan. He takes our van and he goes over to the city shelter. He picks up as many pets as he can each day. We have an allotment of how many we can. Keep them off the euthanasia list, bring them over here. And so every day he takes the van over there, he loads the pets on there. They come over here and then they go through their intake process, and then they go in and they get their shots. They get microchipped. Well, they get checked for microchip too to make sure they're right. And if not, they're microchipped. And then, they get the whole once workover. And then they either go adoption ready into the kennel, or if they need additional workup or medical attention, they'll stay around there. Yeah.
And then is that all vet coverage, things like that? That's all covered by the organization, or how does that happen?
Yes. So we have to pay all the salaries. We have to pay for the veterinarians, and we have 2 at present, and we're looking for a third one. That's 3 veterinarians, and then all of the support staff, like the vet techs, and then the kennel staff, and then everyone has to get paid.
Yeah.
And so because our fees, are pretty low here, that doesn't really begin to cover. So then that's where, it comes to this office, and that's when we're out there trying to raise funds, marketing, and then coming up with these little sponsorships and partnerships, and we go out in the community and we're working with business partners and community leaders, and we're just doing things where we're front facing so that the community knows who we are. And the biggest thing that we're trying to get out to the community is that we are no kennel.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal, especially in San Antonio. That means that we don't euthanize a pet to make room for another pet. We just have to it's a constant chess game. Every day they're, making sure exactly, gotta move them out as soon as we move them in. So it's quite a process.
So do you guys focus a lot on marketing? I guess maybe marketing is the wrong word, but doing like showcasing the pets versus showcasing the organization? How do you go about kind of balancing that? I talk with a lot of nonprofits, right, where a lot of it is all we have to do is talk about our mission and like what we do. It's like, well, this is maybe extra tricky here because half of it is, hey, like we're no kill and here's why we're awesome, and donate money for operations, which is extra hard, and props to you because that is the hardest thing typically to raise funds for, and what nonprofits are in the most need for. So donate to operations, people. That's like my big cause. And then the other half is there's a huge, how do you promote the pets? Because as someone who has rescue animals, right, the first thing you do is you just Google around, like look at pictures, right? It's almost like online dating of like, hey, what dog? Like, who am I gonna find?
It kind of is.
So it's really crazy. So how do you balance that?
It's interesting about animal rescue is the people who work here typically don't care about that human interaction. They're there for the animals.
Humans are kind of mean compared to
they really
kids.
don't.
I don't know. I'll say it.
Yeah, they don't want the spotlight on them. So that's kind of nice, but it is a balance. And I'll tell you, we rescued over 6,000 pets last year. So you've got that many coming in. You've got to have pictures of each of them. You've got to have a bio on each of them.
Intense.
Goes on the website. So every day our website is accurate. And you're right, it is kind of like dating.
That's a huge profile, right?
Yeah,
It's like, okay, it's this, and what do they like?
And a lot, it's intense work, but it just goes on and on, day after day after day.
What's the typical intake then for, like, what fills up the bus? Is it just from other shelters? Is that where y'all?
Primarily we pull from the ACS, which is the Animal Care Services of San Antonio. For them, we pull 40% of their annual inventory.
That's 40%, that's crazy.
So then here, what makes up the rest of it for us is public intake, and then we do work with shelters all over South Texas. So when they're in need, we'll do what we can to take on pets from them. We just actually had some cats come in from Hawaii because Hawaii has
super strict animal rules in Hawaii.
It's crazy. Yeah. They're overrun with cats. Their cat shelters are overrun. So I forget how many we brought on, but we had a plane load of
technically, you did that.
Yeah, so it's the outreach is pretty far.
Okay, that's interesting. Is there like a network somewhere you plug into, or it's, hey, we have room for X cats.
We're constantly in connection with our partners around the city, Humane Society, SNPSA, SAPA, you know, all of these. We all talk to each other, and then there's a thread that goes.
Some sort of portal.
Yeah, we get that all day long, every day. Pets in crisis, pets in need. So it's like, yeah.
In terms of, that's kind of where the intake is coming from. Biggest needs right now, right? Come adopt, donate, bring in stuff. So what are some big events that you guys are working on now?
Oh, events. We've got
right? It's like, this is the time. Let's talk about it. Right?
We just came off of our Fiesta event, which was huge. We did 4 events for Fiesta. So
that's like San Antonio Mardi Gras for anyone who's watching not in San Antonio that has no idea what Fiesta is. The city shuts down for 2 weeks probably.
Exactly. But upcoming, we have a citywide vaccine clinic, and that's going to be June 10th in San Antonio, and we're going to do it with ACS and with Humane Society. Then our birthday party, our 89th birthday party, is coming up on June 17th, and that's going to be at our Paul Jolly location, which is right across from the zoo. HEB is coming out. HEB is like the bomb. They're coming out next week to do a huge project with us. And then we have these yappy hours throughout the year at different locations. So we have this month we've got Copa in Stone Oak, and then Ladybird over off of Hildebrand.
What's the best way to get involved? Do you go? Do you buy tickets, or what's kind of the range? Like for the birthday party, is it, hey, let's show up, or is it?
Yes, it is just show up actually.
Oh, easy peasy.
Yeah, so everything is on our website, which is adltexas.org. We have an events page, and so everything is always on there. And most of our events are free and family friendly. And then in the end of September, we have our annual gala, and it's called Fur Ball.
So what's the theme?
It's Wolfstock Music Fest.
I'm ready to buy my ticket.
Ready to go, let's go. And we're strictly sticking with the 1969 theme of Woodstock.
Everybody's dressed like the Beatles.
Yes.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So for those of you, obviously, galas very important. You got to buy tickets to those. Typically, your prices for the table, right? For folks looking to do that, is that online already, or when does that start?
That will be online probably this week. Actually, we'll have a page dedicated to that.
Okay, then we will wait to have this. That will be in the links, so you all can get your ticket. Any other big stuff that you want to highlight? If I were to say, what's your most exciting thing, at least for you, to come into work every day? Is it the difference you're making? Is it what's your why?
Well, I'm not unlike anybody else who works here. It is for the animals. It truly is. And when you see them come in the shape they come in, and then you see them go out with a family, that is really rewarding. And knowing that you had just a little piece of that, that's why I don't go home with 1 million animals every day, because 2 things: we are no kill, so I know they're going to be okay, and 2, I know they're going to get adopted because it happens quick.
That's great. Is there a particular kind of adoption story, or one you're just like, oh, I'm so excited we got this guy a home, or this gal a home?
So, actually, I think it would be Billy. Billy was just like, he was this beautiful husky, and this guy just drives in our parking lot and literally throws him out at us and takes off. And so, one of us took him home, because that happens a lot here. One of us took him home until we could get him in for an appointment. He came in, he had his appointment, he was just like, he literally was the sweetest dog I think I've ever met in my life.
I grew up in the north, so huskies are my soft spot.
Oh, and he's so sweet. And so he wasn't here maybe 2 or 3 days. Yeah, so he was my favorite. Now, there's another one right now, Champion, and Champion was a burn victim. And he came into us, his little ears were melted, his little paws, and he was just in the worst shape. And we just took him in, got him all bandaged up, and he stayed here until he was ready for a medical foster, and that's where he is now. And he has a puppy brother, and they are just
inseparable. No.
Oh my gosh, you could still see that he has burn marks, because it hasn't been that long. It was just February when he came in. He's just come so far, and just to see his little happy life, he's so cute.
Any other final messages? Hey, this is the one, big takeaway. Is it donation needs? Is it come adopt? Is it what's your?
Honestly, it's adopt. It's adopt, don't shop, and that's it. Everybody says it, you hear it, but do it. And any time in San Antonio, on any given day, there are 35,000 roaming dogs.
35,000.
At any given time in San Antonio,
not 3,500, 35,000.
There are 200,000 roaming cats.
Wow.
So we take them in, we fix them up, we get them ready, and we need somebody to adopt them.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go meet some of those awesome pets and take a little tour. So,
all right, let's go tour.
I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Animal Defense League. Join us for part 2 of our video when we go on a backstage tour to check out all the animals they have up for adoption and how they run their day-to-day operation. And as always, please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. It makes a massive difference to the channel, and it's free for you. Plus, for every like and subscribe, it helps us do more content for the channel and support all the nonprofits we are working with. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.